Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed is a spiritual crossing of the threshold to the world of being a truly expanded human being. Join mediums Cheryl and Kelley for conversations about discovering deep spirituality, developing your intuitive and empathic skills, and personal mediumship. Each episode will focus on tips, tools, and techniques to help you understand and expand your own inner gifts of life journey. Now, your host of Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed, Kelley and Cheryl.
Hello, everyone. Hey, how is everyone doing tonight? Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. We hope you're having a wonderful day today. I do want to say hello to my wonderful colleague, Kelley Eckhart. Hi, Kelley. How are you this evening?
I am great because I beat you earlier on TikTok, so I'm super happy.
That's right. Yeah, well, just wait. I'm going to call a rematch here.
I don't know how it happened, but I'm happy.
So for everyone logging on and come on in the room with us, come on, Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. This is a really special show. Kelley and I are going to have a rematch right here on the air on our radio show. We did a little bit of a boxing match on social media just now, and Kelley decked me. She won. So I don't know how she did it. It was a slam dunk, and I'll have to come back and because it was so close for a while, and then her lead just took off. I don't know.
Well, apparently, I guess it's like they send you likes, but somebody bought me like 100 flowers.
Oh,
and that's what shot me way up. Oh. I don't know who did it, so I don't even know how to thank people. Or I bet it was Brianna.
You have people buying you flowers? That's wonderful.
I think so. I'm not sure.
That's great. Well,
it's fun. I like TikTok. That is kind of fun.
Well, hey, everyone. Hey, welcome again to our radio program. We're so glad you joined us today. It's a really special program tonight, and it just seems like our shows are getting more and more involved or invested, going deeper into intuition, into the metaphysical, the paranormal. And your questions that are coming to us through the email or live here on the comments section have really been terrific. So for anyone who wants to send us a question tonight, please send them to questions@seeingbeyondradio.com. And tonight's show, it's about catching up with the Seeing Beyond Radio, a Mastermind show. And we love these shows because the Mastermind show, it can be about anything.
Yep. And I love that because we can talk about anything.
It can be about anything. We can answer your questions. We can do readings. We're going to talk about some past radio guests we have, maybe some future radio guests that are coming on. So it's always great to have me and Kelley on at the same time. So thanks again for joining us tonight. And you're watching Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. We want to also say hello to our colleagues behind the scenes. We have the wonderful Brianna running tech for us and fielding questions for us. And then we also want to say hello to our colleague Todd, who is our producer at WLTK. So thank you both for producing the show for us. And we always want to give you hello and a shout out.
And we have a great question that somebody already posted in an email on the 16th. So 3 days ago, and I'd love to read it.
Will you please?
I hear this a lot, actually. So something similar to this. And it says, it's from Joy, and it says, my brother-in-law passed away 3.5 years ago. No one has been able to bring him through. My son passed away a week after my brother-in-law, and I hear from my son in spirit all the time. We are very connected. Why can't we get in touch with Scott? That's the brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. I have tried to make appointments for my sister with many different circle readings and group readings. And finally, I got her a private appointment with Thomas John. So far, nothing. Is there anything I can do to help her? Maybe she isn't ready, or maybe Scott, or something, or sometimes spirits not ready to connect. Joy. It's a
Yeah.
really good question because I've
Yeah.
heard this a lot, right? And
Mhm.
why don't you say your take on that,
Yeah.
Cheryl?
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for your question, and
Yeah.
I think it's great what you're doing to help your sister. I do feel
Yeah.
a part of this could be that she should be making the appointments or giving it a try and letting her make the appointments at her own convenience and maybe working at it on her own because it is about her intention and the spirit world knowing really when she's ready to receive the information. And in some way, I believe the spirit world looks out for us.
Mhm.
And if we're still in mourning or grief, or we're just not, if it's just not the right time for our healing or to hear from our loved ones, I do feel in some way they're helping us.
They're
Uh,
respectful.
they're respectful. Thank you. They're respectful of our time, of what the grief we're going through here.
Mhm.
The grieving process is a very sacred process.
Mhm.
So I would just allow that to unfold and not so hard on it. And just know that if your son is coming through, then that is the need. Your son has the greater need right now. And the
Mhm.
could be allowing the son to take the front row, so to speak, right now, and knowing how important that is for you and for the family.
Right, yeah. Sometimes people say they're ready, but they're really not. I've had on several occasions over the years, and maybe you've had this, Cheryl, where somebody has booked a reading and I literally get through like how I work, because I always start out with like the rules and how I work. And as soon as I bring through and I'm like, oh, I've got say it's a father, they just start bawling. And it's like so much, like they're crying so hard that it's
Mhm.
difficult to do the reading and it's difficult for them to receive it.
Yes.
And so spirit knows this and
Mhm.
they don't want to put us through that, right? They
Mhm,
want us
mhm,
to be ready when we're ready.
mhm,
And
mhm.
can I just say hello, Jeffrey? We
Hi,
love you.
Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey, Jeffrey. How's our favorite co-host
I
along
always
with
think
Lori? But
I always
hi.
think of Toys R Us.
Why do you think of Toys R Us?
Because the giraffe was Jeffrey the giraffe.
I love giraffes.
Me too.
Oh
And I
my
don't
god.
know why, but it just makes me think of Toys R Us, which are gone now, right? But
Yeah.
my childhood. Sorry, Jeffrey.
I don't know, Jeffrey may have a connection to, hi, it's funny, he's laughing. I just wanna also say that, it is thank you for answering that, Kelly, and it beautifully said, and we just wish you so much love and support on your journey, and, it can be challenging and hard, and we just support you in every way, and we so
Yes,
appreciate all of your questions coming through.
we do. I mean, people think, oh, they're psychic mediums. They know everything. We don't. We're just regular people like everybody else. And we're on a journey and we know what we know and we're always learning and growing.
Mhm. And
And
it's
I
it's
love that.
really yeah, it's really just about the right timing with the spirit world. They're once again, they're supporting us no matter what, no matter what. Okay,
It's
great, great.
beautiful. It is really a beautiful thing. And we have to remember the universe has our back.
Mhm.
And our spirit people are part of the universe. They're out there, right?
So if you're studying to be a medium or an intuitive, a psychic, always remember that the spirit world has your back no matter what. And even if you're not learning to be a professional and a medium, maybe you're learning just to tune into your own departed loved ones. The spirit world, it's about that trusting, right? And not trying to control anything and surrendering. All of that matters. All of it matters and all of it adds up.
Yes, it does. And hello, Michael Christopher. Thank you for joining us. He's another evidential medium here
Oh,
watching as well.
oh, and did you see Michelle? Hi, hi. Sorry,
Michelle,
I was just,
Michelle, I can't say that last name.
I know Michelle just lost her dog named Jeffrey.
Oh,
Her
well, how
mom's dog.
synchronistic that we're talking about Jeffrey,
I
even
know.
though Jeffrey's spelled different here.
I
I was
know.
talking about the Jeffrey with a G.
Yeah.
But he, for whatever reason, the J, even though it's spelled, it's just the name. It reminds me of the Toys R Us giraffe. So
Yeah.
maybe your dog's kind of coming through to say hello, Michelle.
Yeah,
A
Michelle,
little
I feel
hello
like your
from your dog.
lovely animals coming through. That's, it's synchronicity at its best. So, Where else? I mean, all the timing of all the radio shows, of all the conversations we could be having, that this name came through. Mom is in spirit, and Jeffrey is now with her. He was her lifeline.
Oh, that's
What
so
a
beautiful.
hero!
And they're together.
Jeffrey was a
Obviously.
hero.
Yes, that's so beautiful. My mother-in-law had this dog, Temba, Temba had his own room. I'm actually in the room that Temba was his room. This is my office
Oh,
/ closet room that I'm working in right now.
mm,
And I feel him all the time. He lived till
mm,
14 years old,
mm,
and he was not going anywhere, but because he didn't want to leave her, you
mhm,
know, but he
mhm,
could barely walk anymore. His
mm,
back legs had given out, and
mhm,
it was hard. She had to have him put down, and it was
mhm,
really hard.
mhm,
I feel like even like he would have dragged himself around up until
mhm,
he was like 20 because he
mhm.
didn't want to leave her. He loved her so much. Dogs are such beautiful souls, and they're so good for us.
Well, can we just mention the current event that happened? If you guys have been watching the news about the gentleman and from Australia, he was sailing to French Polynesia on a sailboat,
I
and
knew this.
there was a big storm that blew out all of his electrical things. Everyone's been watching this on the news today. He was at sea for like 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
And the reason why I'm telling you this is because he had this dog with him. We're talking about animals, and you're talking about how beautiful animals are. This was not his dog until just a few days before the trip that he set out on. The dog would not stop following him.
Oh my
So the
gosh.
dog was following him around town, would not leave him alone. And so he said, "You need to come with me. I'm going to go sailing to French Polynesia." And it was the beautiful thing about it is the dog was his hero. The dog was so brave for him during this whole period. They survived on, raw fish and rainwater,
Wow.
and they're both healthy, of course, thank God. But the story he's going to tell, it's all over the news now. I mean, it's like, wow, and this animal saved this man's life and is
Isn't that
happy. They're happy.
beautiful?
They're
I
they're
want to
safe
make a
and they're
movie
happy.
about that. I want a movie about that.
He looks like Tom Selleck. He looks like Tom Hanks from Castaway. And his name is like
Oh,
Tim Sedek, or I'm sorry, I don't know his name completely, but
I'm gonna have to look
God,
this
it's a
up,
great,
Cheryl. This
it's
is
all over the
amazing.
news. And the animal is so happy and healthy looking, and they made it. It's like, I mean, you wouldn't think. Anyway, animals are amazing. That's where
Well, I love
people are
my
amazing,
dogs.
but
I
animals are
love my
amazing too.
cats. And
Yeah.
I always tell people, when I lost my son, I had 3 dogs at the time, and Daisy, she's my main dog. I call my main squeeze. She wouldn't leave me alone. She laid on my lap. I was depressed, of
Mm,
course, like, you don't wanna do anything. I stayed in bed for days, weeks, months. I did go out in my kayak and out on the middle of the ocean because it was very spiritual for me and I felt very connected
mhm,
to my son. But
mhm,
Daisy came with me everywhere. I couldn't leave her. She
mm,
wouldn't leave me. She wouldn't go
mhm,
to the bathroom. She wouldn't eat unless I got out of bed to feed her. Nobody
mm,
else could feed her. It was like she knew she had to be there for me. And I
mhm,
thought, what a beautiful thing, you
mhm.
know? I
I
think
know
that's
that animals, I just feel that their awareness and their love for us, and they see spirit. I know that our animals that are living, they see the spirit world. I know that sometimes our departed animals, we feel them even on the bed, or we feel them sitting next to us on the couch still,
mhm,
so I do believe that. Absolutely.
yes. My jet passed away on my birthday at 4:20 a.m.
Oh
Now
boy.
tell me that wasn't because my son gives me the number 420 since he
Well,
passed.
for everyone that hasn't heard your story, 420
420,
is a
yes.
big deal.
It is the first week my son passed. We were on an RV because we were getting ready to go travel. And I had my laptop on the little kitchen table and my all the adult children were like on the RV. They all wanted to be with me. Everybody, we all kind of like commingled together because we had sold everything and moved on to an RV and the adult kids got their own place. And my son had died and my daughter and his first apartment together. And
Hmm.
so my daughter, my nephew, my niece, they were all on the RV with us with my younger son. And on the third day after he passed, my daughter is very dramatic and she's like, I'm out of here. This place is haunted. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a bus. It's an RV bus. Like, what do you mean it's haunted? And she's like, uh, this isn't my thing. I'm out of here. This is crazy. And I was laughing at her. I was like, what's wrong? She goes, Mom, every morning for 3 days now, that laptop has turned on at 4:20 a.m.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, oh God, it's a sign from your brother. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, it hasn't. And then my nephew, her cousin, he's like, it actually has, Kelley. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like all of us have
Yeah.
seen it. And
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, you can stay in the RV, honey. I'm like, I will turn the laptop off. So I shut it down. I usually
Right.
just leave it on, right?
Sure.
Shut it down. But I didn't like turn it off completely. I just like put it in sleep mode. Turned on again the fourth night. So I was like, okay, so I unplugged it and shut the laptop because it kept turning on, and she freaked out and went to go stay at a friend's house for a few nights because it scared her.
Oh my gosh.
So that's been the number that he brings
Yes.
through, or the sign that I get from him constantly. And so shortly after he passed, a couple years later, my beautiful dog Jet, who loved my son because my son gave him treats all the time, whenever my son would come over, Jet would start begging, and he never begged, only when my son was around. So Jet started having grand mal seizures, and 1 week later he had one, and it started at 4:20 a.m. and he passed away. So I knew he was with my son, and my son took him, and it, of course, had to be on my birthday. I think Spirit likes to mess with my holidays. My son passed Mother's Day weekend. My mother-in-law passed New Year's. My dog passed my birthday, and my best friend passed a week before Christmas.
Gosh.
I'm like, what is it with the holidays in me?
Yeah.
Must be a lesson though, right?
It must be. And believe me, I've seen the 420 with you, Kelley. We had to get a hotel room, there were 3 of us. What room did we get? 420.
420.
When did we start our radio show, Seeing Beyond Living Transformed?
420.
420. And it wasn't the original date that was planned, and then they bumped us, and then that's how we got it. It's just like,
it was perfect.
We always see your son around and love him so much.
I love the signs. And then like the first year after he passed, all my bank cards got renewed and 2 credit cards. And guess what the expiration date was?
Oh, good.
420.
420. Wow.
Is that not funny?
You have to understand that's the love from the spirit world. So, just always know that all the signs are just going to keep coming, and
so always sometimes.
And when you see them, Kelley, do you accept them and say thank you? I love you.
Do.
Send more, please. It's
today
that way.
I was in the pool, and this beautiful dragonfly was flying in circles around me, which they don't normally do that.
Yeah.
And then it landed really close on the fence where I could see it. So I'm going to post it. I got videos.
Okay.
And it stood there like the whole time I was in the pool. It like moved to another branch, then it moved to like a leaf, then it moved to another leaf, but it didn't leave. And it was looking at me. Like in some of the videos, you can see its eyes looking at me, and it moves when I moved. So it was watching me, and I thought, thanks, RJ. I know you sent me those because I love dragonflies.
Well, go ahead. And for everyone listening, Kelley has a dragonfly as your logo on your website.
Because that's another sign I get from my son.
Yeah.
And dragonflies and hummingbirds, but he knows I love dragonflies.
Big time.
And here's the thing, we don't get one sign from our family members. We can get so many. I've got hummingbirds, dragonflies, ladybugs. I've had doves. The doves actually showed up a week before he passed. It was my cat dropped a dove on my face, like in the morning, first thing in the morning, on my lap, like my chest, and was like here, and it was alive, and it started flying all over the room. Yeah, that was 1 week before he passed. And then I get doves now every year at my place. They have a nest.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
that's lovely. That's lovely. That's amazing. How special. And just to remind people, of course, it's not just one sign from our loved one. There are many, many signs. So, and it doesn't have to always be the same sign all the time. It can be a different sign all the time. What's important is that you're loving them and still remembering them, and they're sending you signs. And I'm sure when they send you a sign, you're either just thinking about them or maybe just had that thought about them. So can we take a question? I saw a question in the chat box that Brianna posted.
I was going to say the same thing. Do you want to read it?
I'll read this one.
Yes.
This is a question from Lily. Hi, Lily. So she's asking, during 2 previous readings about my deceased husband, it was mentioned that he looks out for us and watches over us. What does that mean in the spirit world? I took it to mean that he could prevent bad and unfortunate events happening to us, but they are still happening. Do they have any power over there in the spirit world? Thank you, Lily.
Can I answer
Mhm.
my
Yeah,
opinion?
you
And
go
then
first.
I believe they have a lot of power, but not as much as we would like. But I do believe they're able to pull a lot of strings, I will say. Now, sometimes it's our perspective. So some things might be happening that seem horrible at the time, but it's just also part of the journey. And I have to say, you know, there's got to be, if you look at things in a certain way, it's really about how you view things. Is it really as bad as you think? I don't know. Maybe it is. But
Mhm.
also, it might be that these things are happening because there's other things that need to kind of, it's like a life lesson we have to learn.
Mhm.
But I have heard spirit many times talk about how they've prevented car accidents. Maybe the bad things that are happening could have been way worse. So
Right.
it's really about your perspective. Um, I know I've heard this from other people, including my own family, like, oh, you know, the world sucks and everything's happening and my life's falling apart and all bad things happen to me. But honestly, if you're going to say that, you're going to attract that. So remember to keep positive and know that your spirit people could only do so much. We have to do our work too. And part of that is about having a positive perspective. It's about facing things that we need to face and doing the right things and being kind to ourselves and allowing, I feel like, the universe to really like support us. Sometimes we like fight that support. I believe. That's my belief, Cheryl. What about you?
I love what you said, Kelly. And Lily, this is a great question. And so the spirit world doesn't interfere with our lives. They're not, their goal is to really let us live our life. And we have challenges which may turn into opportunities, but we do have stuff that happens that we need to kind of deal with that makes us, problem solve and become more compassionate, or we practice our forgiveness or our patience in this way. I do believe our families that are in spirit are watching us and they are looking out for us. But I want to tell you, they're not here to take your power away from you or to take your magnificence away from you, because you have the magnificence to create the universe, create your life, co create and
Mhm.
manifest your dreams and desires.
Yeah.
And sometimes when bad things happen, and they do, we know
Mhm.
this, it's really perhaps just to nudge you or to send you another direction that is
Mhm.
really more of what you're asking for. So the universe is looking out for you as your loved ones are looking out for you. And the universe is working for you, not against you. And I do believe your loved ones are there supporting you, watching you, praying for you, sending you love, sending you all those beautiful signs. So they are operating from, a place of divine love,
They
right?
are.
And there are life lessons on this planet that we all are dealing with or going through or will go through. So I believe your loved ones are there to help, restore the faith if that should ever go missing, or to, help you through your healing and your grief. So I hope this helps, Lily.
And I have to say there's times where I was driving an I-5 with the kids when they were little, and I always get off at this one exit. I forget what exit it is, but this particular time I decided to get off an exit before that and stopped and got like a snack and we went to the bathroom and we got back on the freeway. I don't know why I did that because I'm a creature of habit. I used to drive to LA and Sacramento back all the time when the kids were little because I have family in LA. But this one time I stopped early out of nowhere, but I felt drawn, like I felt like I had to do it, like I was
Mhm,
pushed
mhm,
almost.
mhm,
And get back on the freeway now 20 minutes later. Had we been 20 minutes earlier, we would have
mhm.
been part of this like 20 car pileup
Yeah.
that had just happened.
Mhm,
And it was crazy. People were it was really bad. People had flown out of their cars, and there was like people in the middle of the road.
Mhm.
It was so surreal just driving through this. It felt everything was in slow motion.
Mhm.
People were jumping out that had CPR training, or nurses and doctors to save people and help everybody. And we were just like driving through all of this. And I would have been part of that had we not stopped there, because that was right where the exit is that we normally go.
And also, I'm sure the spirit world, we have to be aware that they are connecting with us. Like we can get in our own way sometimes, right? We can ignore the signs or not recognize the signs or try to control, you know. So just like you mentioned, I was on the freeway coming over an overpass. I felt my father come to me and say, "Look out. There's an ambulance ahead, you know, there's a roadblock, you're going to have to stop suddenly, so just prepare for it." So I started slowing down. Sure enough, as soon as I went over the mountain, so to speak, and went over the other side, there was the ambulance right there at, you know, with a car wreck right there. So thank God. But it's about being open, and how you can be open, anyone listening, is to practice being open.
Mm-hmm.
Practice being open, practice the meditation, practice asking
Becoming
for help.
aware. Becoming
Yes,
aware.
open your awareness, asking for guidance, and always showing appreciation and gratitude every day, all the time, for what's coming your way. And anytime you feel you're getting a message, go ahead and accept it, and really send back that gratitude to the spirit world, to your loved ones. That will really help that embrace or help deepen the connection.
So Maria says she was told to slow down with her wreck. I'm assuming you mean from spirit. I
Mhm.
often hear when I'm driving, change lanes or
Yes.
move over or slow down.
Mhm.
And I will follow it. I've always done
Mhm.
that. And the few
Mhm.
times, one time or three times in my 30 years of driving, I was told to slow down and I didn't listen. And this is
Mhm.
all before, like, when I was younger. And of course, I was speeding and I ended up getting a speeding ticket. It was
Mhm.
like spirit knew there was a speed trap up ahead. And of course, Kelley gets caught in it 3 times over like a 20-year period. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I heard my exactly. I heard mine from the spirit world. It was my father. But look, other times I've heard my guides tell me, look, there's a deer ahead. When I lived in
Mhm.
Colorado, there's deer everywhere on the highway, and you never know where they're coming from because you're just around nature and forest all the time. And sure enough, another one, slow down, there's a deer ahead. Always, like Kelley said, pay attention to those inner voices, so to speak.
Mhm.
The inner voice is the one that come between the thoughts, the one that comes when you're not thinking about it. That's the higher guidance system. Those are your departed loved ones.
Here's a great question. It says, how quickly when someone passes can you get a sign? My mom passed in November. A week later, I started playing the Starbucks winter game. Um, oh, wait, hold on. There's more. Normally, you have to make a purchase or you can request 2 free plays per day to get a game piece. I never requested any plays or made any purchases. And then it says, however, every day I had 5 plays for free. My mom drank coffee every day, and I am wondering if that had could have been a sign from her to give me free plays. Of
Wow.
course it was. Oh my gosh. That's
Yay.
amazing. I love that. That is amazing.
It is amazing. And
You have to be looking for them and see you were probably overthinking that, going, I wonder, but no, it couldn't be. That
it,
is a sign.
it's true, Kelley. It's in the wonder of it. It's in the
Yeah,
wonder of it's in the questioning of it that
it
is
is.
like, yes, step into that knowingness and affirm
Right.
it. Like, yes, that is from your loved one. That is from your mother. Yes, I receive this, mom. You're playing with me. Let's play some more. I receive it. I love you. Thank you.
I
Send me
love
more
it.
signs.
When my husband's father passed, his father was from Germany and he had a thick German accent. And his name was Horst. I love his name. And we like to gamble, and we were in Vegas shortly after he passed. And on the way there, we stopped at this gas station, and this strange song was playing I've never heard before. It was just the strangest song ever. Well, it was a very popular song in South Africa where my husband grew up, and his dad liked the song, and so did my husband. And I thought, he said, oh my gosh, my dad's with us as he's pumping gas on our way to Vegas. So I was like, well, tell him to make us win, just joking. And then we're playing craps and at the craps table and we're winning. And 2 guys walk up and they're speaking in German,
Oh.
and they're South African.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like looking at my husband, he's like, "Yeah, I know. My dad's totally with us." It was just like,
Aw.
that's a sign, because we play craps a lot and we used to go to this casino a lot. We never seen these people before. I mean, and why our table? There's a lot of craps tables. The
Exactly.
people that are logical will be like, "Oh, you get people from all over the world," or they'll have an excuse.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
no, that's a sign.
And that look, Michelle says that, for a while after my mom passed, I was smelling incense when none was present.
Mother.
Um, her mother. Did I say mother? What did
Yeah,
I
no,
say?
you did. I'm
Okay,
saying
okay.
mom for
Oh,
sure. Yeah. I was
def
like, mom.
oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. And that's it. Not only do we hear or see signs, you can smell through your senses, right? You're not only using your
Mhm.
physical sense, but you're using maybe an intuitive sense
Mhm.
of smelling, of
Yep.
knowing, of connecting the dots. Sometimes if they cooked a favorite tomato sauce or
Yep.
pasta, if you could taste it and know that they're around. But smelling exactly, and like I smell cigarette smoke, and I know my dad's around. It's amazing, right? So,
Right?
Michelle, that's definitely your mom.
It's so funny. In the beginning of my development, I lived at the beach, and my husband was still smoking at the time. He's quit since, and he wasn't. Our youngest son didn't know he smoked, so he would go walk around the block when he smoked every time, and then he would come in and wash his hands and brush his teeth and change his shirt, because he didn't want our son to, the baby, to smell it. And our bedroom was on the second floor, and every time my friend Desiree came to visit, I was smelling cigarette smoke, and I
Mm,
got real mad at my husband and said, "You can't smoke by the bedroom, by our house.
yeah,
Like, our
yeah,
kids, your son's going to catch you." And
yeah.
he's like, "Honey, I'm not." And I'm like, "No, it's so strong. The cigarette smells smoke." And he looked at me, he goes, "It's not me." And it wasn't my son who smoked also. Like, nobody smoked in the house or near the house. They knew the rules. And so I was like, that's so weird. And I was just newly developing. And so Desiree's been my best friend since childhood. And her grandfather had passed shortly, like a couple years before that, maybe. I don't
Mm,
remember how long. And I was like, was he a chain smoker? And she's like, yes. And it
yes.
only happened when Desiree was coming to stay the weekend.
Oh,
And I put it together. I put it
hmm.
together. It was
Her,
her grandfather.
her loved ones.
Yeah. But I mean, at first I was getting mad at my husband.
It's amazing how Kelley, I mean, sometimes when we're not even open and doing the work as mediums and intuitives,
Mhm.
we still see the spirit world. Not that we have to go over there and tell the person, "Hey, your dad's here." But I
Right.
remember I was out with some friends, and I had just met one of their friends, and as he was walking away, his dad, who crossed over in spirit, was behind him, and he was waving at me saying, "Hey, I'm here," and I'm just following my son around. But there, we always know that there's an appropriate time
Mhm.
and place, and I just want to say, you will see more spirits, I believe, when you open up
Mhm.
intuitively. And it's never scary. It's loving, or angels,
It
or
feels
you know
great,
energy. You could be seeing lights, you could be seeing colors, right? You could be seeing flashes of light, so to speak.
right?
Having a vision, even your dreams could become more vivid when you open up more. So just pay attention. It's all about opening your awareness. And really, awareness means opening your compassion, opening your heart, opening your um, opening your ability to connect with something higher than that's greater than ourselves.
Oh, yep. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Well, we have like 25 minutes left, Cheryl. Let's do some
Oh,
readings.
great. Let's go for it.
So, Brianna, if you could share the link to everybody, I think we have to share it individually ourselves, Cheryl. So,
Okay.
if you go to, where is it now? I did it the other day. Invite. You can copy the link, Cheryl, and post it Can you post comments in here?
I cannot post comments.
You
Oh, I
can.
can post comments, but where do I go to invite?
So it's
Uh,
at the bottom where it
okay.
says mute, stop, settings, present, and then invite. Right
No,
next
I
to
I don't
studio.
have I don't have an invite button, but I can copy it, and if you guys
Okay.
post it, I can just copy the StreamYard link, and I can comment.
I'll put it in the private
Yeah,
chat for
here
you
it
as
is. See,
well.
I see the link,
See,
and I'll
I put it in the private chat so you could copy it from there.
oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
so
think I did
if
it
you guys
right.
want to come online and get a reading, use that link and it'll put you in the backstage and we'll get to you in the order that you showed up. Make sure that you have a good microphone, that you're somewhere quiet. Make sure that you're not watching the show because you can watch it from the backstage, because if you have it on, it'll be a lot of feedback. And make sure your video works, okay? Because I think if your video's not working, it won't let you on, right? And we have Chris
know.
who just joined us.
I keep hearing someone's father's here. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
already tuning in. I don't know
well,
if this
maybe
is
that's for
his.
Chris. Hi,
Hi,
Chris.
Chris.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Chris.
Hi.
How can
Hi,
we help
Kelley.
you?
Kelley, I was on the cruise with you with Thomas John.
I thought you looked familiar. Well, hello. Oh my gosh.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, nice to see you too.
Yeah.
Well, how can we help you tonight?
Well, I am actually starting or progressing in a mediumship course with Phyllis Oken.
Aw,
nice.
Phyllis. Lady
And
Phyllis.
I have absolutely been loving this. I'm also working with Dr. Melba Stetz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I had a fantastic reading with a trance medium in London, Elaine Thorpe.
Ooh,
Oh,
Elaine.
nice.
Yes.
You know Elaine?
Yes.
Have any of you ever had a reading with her?
Yes.
I have
I've sat in one of her circles or on her groups.
I have just been blown away.
Yeah,
And so the part of the program is to see as many mediums as possible.
Good.
And to sit with others and to let them sort of see what they feel about me and then watch
Mhm.
them as
Mhm.
they work with others. So that's why I'm here tonight.
Mhm.
That's amazing. And I always tell my students, because I teach too, and I know Cheryl teaches, watch people on YouTube, go to events, because you know what? You're learning by
Mhm.
watching. You really
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
And we never stop learning.
Mhm.
I love to go support other mediums. I love to watch them work. And I love it when I get a reading.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's true.
It's the best
So,
feeling in the world.
so what do you feel anything for me tonight? Any messages? Anything psychically or mediumly? Mediumly, is that a word?
It can be a word. It's a word.
Cheryl, why don't you go with what you were feeling? Because I know you had somebody.
Well, I felt a dad, and you look familiar, Chris. Were you on with Suzanne Northrup the other night?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, me and Suzanne, you were there. So I have to
Right.
thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Right. In fact, I've wanted to see Suzanne for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is part of my homework that I'm doing tonight.
Really?
Oh, good, good, good. Well, as part of your homework, I am supposed to tell you from your spirit guides to schedule your time with them and schedule your time ahead of time. For example, let them know ahead of time that you're going to meditate at 3 in the afternoon, or let them know you're going to meditate at 10 in the morning, whenever that time is, to sit with them, because that will actually build the power. And I'm not sure if you're going to sit at a part of your home. Do you sit in the same part of your home when you do this? Because that also builds the power. It kind of builds a portal, or an energy stream. It builds that energy, just to tell you. And if you only used it for that purpose, even better, right? If it's a multi-use area, some of the energy can somehow be dispersed. But if it's just used for a goal or an intention of healing, a meditation, doing readings, connecting with spirit. Also, I just want to say, is your father crossed over, please, Chris?
Yes.
And
Yes,
I
yes.
just feel dad coming through, and he feels to be a big fan or a big support for you. And he says that he likes your hair because you're wearing your hair differently now, or I'm sure you're wearing your hair differently. But he's talking about sports. And as we mentioned, a smoker. Would he have smoked at some time in the past, please?
In the past.
Okay. And then he's talking about New York for some reason. Are you connected to the East Coast? or to New
Yes.
York, please? Okay, and he just mentions New York, and I even felt him talk about Manhattan or Rockefeller Center. So is that
Mm.
a memory that you would have with your dad, or would you know him to have hang around that area, please?
No, I used to have an acquaintance in that area.
Okay, fair enough. I want to say with your dad, I feel like also just to before I hand it over to Kelley, it does feel like there's an important date or anniversary coming up or around the corner. So can you understand that, please? Like, yes, is it like an anniversary? Is this like a birthday, please, coming up?
It's my dad's passing date.
Dad's passing date
Very
anniversary.
soon.
Very soon. And because it feels like the energy's building. That's how I got it. It's like, God, it's coming. It's coming. I can feel this coming. And then do you also understand the 9th of the month or the 8th of the month? I'm not sure if those dates mean something to you, but I'm just going to hand those to you. Those numbers, even 8, 9.
8, 9. Not necessarily.
Just keep them to the side. They're individual,
I
not
will.
together. See if that means something or comes through for you. But Kelley, I'm going to hand it to you now.
So
Thank you,
I
Cheryl.
Thank
agree
you,
with
Chris.
everything Cheryl's saying. I even felt those numbers 8 and 9 as well.
Mm.
And your father, he liked to, he had a good sense of humor. You understand that?
Yeah.
He liked
Yes.
to joke around, but it was like very witty or quick. You know, he always had a good comeback.
Oh,
And
yes.
and just I feel like a lot of love from your dad. Very proud of you. Very much loved you so much. Like you had a good relationship with him, I feel. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
He just is always with you. And is there a September birthday? Is that yours or somebody else's?
That's my mother's.
Okay, because he's talking about September birthday as well. And I keep seeing peonies, those flowers, peonies. Like
Peonies.
a pastel color. Did I say I'm wrong? Peonies?
Peonies, right?
Yeah, like a pastel color, just like a pastel, like reddish pink. Just beautiful flower. And I just feel a lot of love from him, okay? I'm going to leave you with that.
Thank you very much. And my hair, I used to do my hair pink.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
he didn't care for that too much.
Well, he's giving you pink peonies. I don't know how to say
Thank
them.
you.
You know what I mean.
Thank you,
Thank you
ladies.
so much. All right. I'm going to put you back in there.
Thank you, Chris.
So, Brianna, Leo, my great nephew, his father just passed away, and you had mentioned a father, and he feels like it's for him too, and he'd like to come on. Do you
Oh,
mind?
definitely. You know, I felt sports. I felt soccer. I felt like
Leo,
football, soccer, rugby.
we're talking to you, buddy. Hi. Can you understand anything with the sports? Football, soccer, rugby? No? Did your dad like sports?
Oh, I like soccer.
Okay.
And then I'm sorry, your dad, is it your dad that passed recently? Yeah.
Leo.
And, yeah, I know that your dad loves you so much, and I know that in some way he's leaving. I feel like he's leaving a hope chest for you, or he's leaving a jewelry box for you. So I know there's so much love coming through for him right now. Yeah, it's so hard.
Thank you,
It's so
Brianna.
hard.
Sorry, he's not ready. Poor
Mhm.
guy. Give him a hug for me. I love you, Leo. I love you so much, buddy. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll put you backstage, Brianna, okay? Poor guy. He wanted to come up, but I think it's too much for him.
Well, you know, what's wonderful about children is they're highly sensitive, and, you know, they only know love, you know, and it's only through, you know, getting older that we have to, you know, have these filters or we have doubts around it. But kids, you know, this hurt. His dad was his hero. And of course, it's extremely challenging because I want to say that young man, highly sensitive, right?
Yes.
Highly empathetic.
Takes after me and his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a sweetheart, sweet soul. Well, we have Chris who's on next. I'm going to go in the order. And somebody, I know it broke my heart too, Patricia. We are giving readings to as many as we can. You just need to come backstage. There's a link in the comments. So just find the links, you guys. Okay. And I'm going to bring Chris up here. Hi, Chris. Can you hear us?
Is this the same Chris?
I don't know.
No.
We have another Chris? Am I confused? Is this a different
Not the
Chris?
same.
Not the same. Okay. Because there's no camera. How can we help you, Chris? Can you hear me, Chris? Okay, I'm not sure that they're working. I'm going to put them back. We're going to move on to Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. How can we help you?
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi to both of you guys. Thank you
Hi.
so much for being available this evening. It was such a delight and a surprise to me, and like my heart feels different today. I had recently tuned in with Cheryl and Suzanne. Anyhow, my sister passed away many, many years ago. And my mom just passed away.
Oh my gosh.
And my aunt passed away about 3 years ago. And I, before my mom passed away, started to have clairaudience. And I've had those moments of tunneling happen since she's passed, but I haven't heard anything yet. And I've been working on meditating, and I've been working on praying, and I just wondered if anyone is here to share something today.
It's your mom and your sister, right? You want to go, Cheryl? Or
Well, would I be correct, Stephanie? Would you understand your mom passed from an illness, please?
Yes.
And there's something about we mentioned the color pink with hair, but I want to go pink again. And I want to go pink with like bed sheets or with linens. I want to go pink in a room, please, if I can. And also that you cared for her. Is that right? You cared for her in the end? Because she's saying thank you for helping me in the end. Do you understand that stuff?
I think I do. I had provided a very light pink eye mask because she kept saying she wanted to sleep.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
And she was really upset because she was in the hospital and they wouldn't let her sleep. And she had a very long and long but short, very like 20 some hours. But I played music. I did many things.
You, in some way, I want to say your mom was happy when it came time for her to pass, because she felt so close to you and she felt so close to God at the same time. So I feel like she would have connected with God. Do you understand that, being a woman of faith or having that belief system?
I think that would be awesome for her, because after my sister had passed, she had more disappointment first.
I want to say that she feels to me to tell you that she's very complete now. You know, there's some type of a completion happening where, you know, she's together, she's on the other side, she's sending you roses, if you understand the flower significance. And there's something about you becoming, I don't know, I just felt a move with you eventually happening. It doesn't have to happen today, but it does feel like there's something about you eventually moving and becoming moving closer to the water, or a body of water, if you understand. And I just heard a lake.
That's really tough. I live next to the ocean.
Oh, you live next to the ocean right now. Good.
In Florida, but I'm currently in Illinois. And I've been wondering about moving up here to take care of my dad.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to move north of Florida. That's what I'm hearing. So, I mean, whether it could be back up there or in that area, but that would be interesting to find out what happens, because it does feel like you're still near nature. I'll just say this. I feel very much in nature, and you belong definitely with your family. Like, your mom is encouraging this. And I want to say that I know your heart's so broken, and we just have so much compassion for you right now. And I'm just going to hand it to Kelley and let her tune in.
So you said your sister passed first, and that was a few years ago or more?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I feel like your sister was somebody who, she was like, you don't mess with your sister, and you don't mess with her family, because she was going to let you know. Like, she was going to let you know what was up if you mess with her family. Do you understand that about her? She was protective, very protective of you and the family and whoever. They were friends, whoever. That was just the way she was. And she was very sweet, very loving, but she also had a way of speaking her mind when it needed to be heard. And I don't think she was like outspoken always, but at the right moment, she knew when she had to speak up, I feel. Do you understand that about her?
I do, yeah.
And just, I feel like she was such a fun, outgoing, loving soul. Do you understand this?
Um, yes, although I think it might be my aunt that you could be feeling.
Well, let me ask you this. Did your sister or your aunt, either one of them, was their passing unexpected?
For me, both of them were. One was tragic and one was
Well, I feel
in
like
sleep.
I've got the one that was unexpected and tragic. Is that your sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's who's coming through. I feel like she was a lot of fun when she wanted to be, and at the same time, when she didn't want to deal with everybody, she just pushed you all away.
For sure.
It was like it's like, which one were you going to get this time? Like, what was she up for? Is she up for people, or was she up for nobody being around for a while? It was like she had a great time, and then when she would get burnt out, she'd be like, I'm done peopling. That's how I feel like she was. And when she was like very social and outgoing, she was this like amazing, fun soul, and everybody loved her, and she was charismatic. But she was such an empath. She could get overwhelmed so easily and burn out and want to like separate from everybody. But I feel like the two of you loved each other. You got along pretty well, but you're so different in many ways. Do you understand that? And
Yes.
so, she didn't always agree with things that you did, and you didn't always agree with her, but you guys always supported each other, is what I hear. And she loves you for that, and she thanks you for that. And she just wants you to know, like, she knows, like, it's been hard for you because she's not here, your mom's not here. She's like, you know what? We're still there with you. We're so in your heart. We're so connected. And I feel like whenever you're watching the sunset or a full moon, I don't know why the full moon, but sunsets and full moons, they're both with you. They're with you.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like that's their sign. They're like, we're not going to give you some little sign. We're going to give you the full moon and the sun. Like the sun setting, a beautiful, colorful sunset is what I feel like she's showing me. And rainbows from your sister, lots of rainbows. So
I get so many rainbows. Yeah.
those are from your sister because she's trying to give you the pot of gold at the other side. Okay. There's
Sure.
optimism and love from your sister. So lots of love. Okay, Stephanie.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
Stephanie.
going
You're
to
welcome.
put you backstage, okay? Thank you. So we have Kanani. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yes.
The room might be already full. Beth is trying to get in. We can only have so many people. So if you're in the room and you already had a reading, if you exit out, then others can get in, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelley. Thank you. I don't have as much controls over there, so thank you. Hi, Kanani. How are you today?
Good. Thanks.
How can we help you?
Basically, I'd like to see if we can connect to my daughter's boyfriend, who recently passed, to help her heal.
So did he pass in the last year or two? Because it feels recent. Was it
Very
this year?
recent.
Actually? Was it this year?
Yeah.
And was this a
month.
very tragic and unexpected passing? I feel
Yes,
like
my
he was
daughter.
expecting this. It was very tragic, very sad, very hard to deal with because of the circumstances. And I do feel like he's not ready to talk about it, but that's what I feel like. And I also feel like he was a very charismatic soul, and he was very fun and exciting, and he just loved life. And he had like so many ambitions, I feel, like he was just really like excited about everything. Do you understand that about him?
Yes.
And
definitely.
at the same time, I feel he was a bit of a daredevil, and he thought he was invincible, and he thought like nothing was ever going to happen to him, and he was going to live forever. And he just was, that kind of a soul. Like it's a kind of a young thinking, right? Because when we're young, we think we're invincible. And I don't know how old he was, but he definitely feels like a young adult. So
Yes.
I want to say between 18 and 30, but I want to say closer to the early 20s.
17.
Okay, so he felt older, so we knew he's a bit of an old soul. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
And I also feel like he had so many friends because he friended everybody. And I feel like he could walk into like a store, like a liquor store in the neighborhood, and make friends with like everybody that worked there, and they'd all know his name because he's a character. Like nobody would forget him. He's out okay, he's at peace, he knows everybody's hurting, he knows it's been hard. I feel like he sends all the love in the world to you and to his own family. I feel like he was not an only child, so he has siblings. Do you understand this? That's
Yeah.
okay. They might be like cousins that were like siblings, but they feel like they're like family to him.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has a lot of family that he's sending love to. And I do feel like that his relationship with his own family wasn't always easy. And he wants his mom to know he loves her. Because I do feel like there would have been some unresolved issues there. Do you understand this? With
Mhm.
mom. Like I feel some like disconnect. And he's really sending her all the love in the world.
Yeah.
He was creative. He feels like an artist or somebody who did really well with like creativity, like music or lyrics or
Music for sure. Yeah.
yeah. I just feel like that's a way that he's going to communicate is through that music from the radio or wherever. Listen to certain songs that will remind you of him. Like they'll just come on when you're not expecting them, I feel. Okay. So know that. And did he pass on a Saturday?
On a Sunday.
So it wasn't like late
It was a
Saturday night,
weekend.
Oh yeah, it was a weekend. I think.
late Saturday
wait,
night, early
the
Sunday
day
morning.
he actually passed.
I think so.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I just feel like it was like late Saturday, early Sunday, maybe, but it was like the middle of the weekend. That's what it feels like. And I do feel like he's really he didn't realize, I want to say, like how many people he had touched or that really cared about him until after he passed. And he's really aware of that. He and do you know was it almost his birthday before he passed? Did he just is his birthday coming up then? So
It's in
is your
October.
birthday coming up?
Mine?
Yeah.
No.
No.
So I just feel like
Some sort of
August,
celebration.
September, like there's like a celebration coming up. August, September,
his
maybe
mom.
October.
Oh,
His mom's birthday is in August.
Okay, so he's like I guess almost like saying he knows it's hard because it's hard for her to celebrate, but he wants her to know he's with her. Okay, he's with her. And do you know anything about his pets growing up? Because I feel like he's with a dog that he was very close to when he was younger that passed. So I feel like he wants us all to know that.
The pet that he grew up with is still alive here today.
There's another pet, then ask mom.
maybe. Yeah.
I feel like it's a dog, and maybe it wasn't his, but it was like his at grandma's house or something. But it's a dog that was very special to him, and he's with the dog. And I do feel like he's with family on the other side that maybe he didn't know so well that passed when he was young. But he's with a lot of love, and he's not alone. Just really pay attention to the signs because I know you're sensitive and he's been coming to you in dreams, okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. Cheryl, do you have anything?
It just feels that I just feel him telling me it was an accidental passing. Can you understand that, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's an accidental passing. And that, do you have some of his things at your home, please? Like his t-shirt?
A lot of stuff.
And that he says you can smell him. And he definitely wants to tell you that he loves you, even though I know he told you sometimes, but he didn't tell you enough. And it feels like there was a wedding or there's engagement with the two of you. Like, we did have a good thing going and that's where the next step would have led. And I want to tell you there's a tattoo. You understand getting a tattoo, please?
Oh my God.
It's right here. I just got a tattoo right here.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Right here, yeah.
And thank you. And he is he's in a beautiful space. He wants you to know and he wants you to believe because he shares with me that the two of you have had conversations about the spirit world, and that we've had the curiosity and the questions, and he wants you to believe and have faith, and that you are being guided and your soul is being guided, and in some way the two of you are soulmates, and that your life will continue, but the two of you are kind of intertwined. I just feel like there's something about such a beautiful blending of the love of your hearts with each other. So just know that love goes on, right? There's that song from the Titanic about love will go on. I think Celine sings it, right? It's that feeling of love will go on, right?
Yeah.
So please know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys, for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Put you back in here. There it is. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more people. I know we can't get to them all, but Michelle is next. You want to do one more? It's 8:01. What are you up for?
Sure.
Okay. And let me know when you're.
Yeah. I think that would be a good call, Kelley.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
How can we help you?
I just would like to hear what I need to hear.
Oh, good.
Familiar.
I saw you on Friday night.
Okay, I'm like, you look so familiar. Well, Cheryl, I'm gonna let you go, Cheryl.
Remember, I look like your friend.
You do. That's why I said you look familiar. Doesn't she look like oh my gosh, what's her name? Marty.
I don't know Marty.
Oh,
do I know Marty? I don't think I know Marty.
That's all right. I'll show you. She looks like Marty.
Well, Michelle, when I connect with you, I feel your grandparents stepping through, really, if you understand that. And I feel like mom's side of the family, and it feels like you were really close to these people. Do you understand that? And in some way, both grandmas coming through. Grandpa's a little bit on the shy side, but he still steps forward to greet you. And I want to say that they have so much respect for you. And you would have memories of your grandmother growing up. Do you understand that with grandma? And because she feels like she's ironing for you or mending things for you. And would you understand that your grandmother would have left some things for you that she made by hand? I felt knitting or crocheting and this type of feeling. Blankets is what I'm hearing. And that you do have children, or you have a child, Michelle. Is that right?
Yes, I have two.
Two children. And so she's saying that these were for your children, or she didn't know your children though. Is that right? She didn't know them, but she's just sharing with us that she's coming through to announce that, and about what a brave person you've been. Because it seems like, I don't know about your family life or your siblings, but your grandmother is saying she's grown up alone, and she's grown up facing a lot of challenges. It's almost like you had to grow up fast. Is that right? If you understand that, like you go right from childhood into adulthood, and this is what happens because there is a lot of loss. And would you understand your father being in spirit, please?
Yes.
And would he have passed from a cancer passing or an illness like this? So, this is your family, because you have a lot of family on the other side. I have to say, I do feel a bigger family stepping forward, but Dad's here. And I want to say Dad is he's doing a lot of things, right? In one way he's holding you, telling you he loves you. In another way, he's apologizing. So if you can understand that, it's almost like I feel him to be very reserved in him expressing his emotions, or at least sharing with you his heart, I guess we could say. And I know that's a big one. So I'm just going to leave it there. But I just want you to know that I feel like your path right now, it does feel a little bit rocky or a little bit challenging. But I want to say, this is taking you to a better place. So even though I see like cobblestones, right? So I see a path that has cobblestones. So it's not unbearable, but it's challenges. And I want to say that I even felt by the month of October, there's a big shift for you, or the month of October is an important month for you. So meaning a good month, a fortuitous month. So please keep that in your back pocket, so to speak. And I'm going to hand it over to Kelley.
Thank you, Cheryl. That was great. Now, I didn't read for you Friday, right? Did I?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. I can't remember. Now, I know she got your mother and your father. But
grandmother and father.
Oh, grandmother. I thought you said mother too. Is your mother
I'm
also
not sure.
in spirit?
My mother is also in spirit.
Okay.
Okay, because I felt mom too. But you also have a friend that passed, yes?
Yes.
A girlfriend, that's a female. Do you understand that?
I can't think of anybody.
I feel a female coming through. Maybe this is family, but she feels more like your level. So maybe this is a cousin or something of sorts. Not a sister though. It feels like removed like that. But do you have a cousin maybe that perhaps passed? And it feels like it was like an illness. She was sick for a while, and it doesn't feel like the passing was that long ago. It feels like in the last 5 to 10 years. And it feels like due to an illness, but I don't think cancer, but something where she was sick for a while. Do you understand this?
I can't think of anybody right now.
Oh, interesting. So I might not be with her then. Maybe I'm with somebody that's in the group below. And I don't know. I'm sorry, because that's who's coming through to me real strong as a female, somebody's friend. Does anybody understand that that's in the backstage? If you can just raise your hand, because we can see your hands.
I can't see your hands, but Kelley can and Brianna can and Todd.
Yeah, raise your hand like this if you can hear us or see if you know of a friend that passed from an illness in the last 5 to 10 years.
Oh,
raise your hand.
Wait, Michelle?
I have a friend who passed from breast cancer.
Okay, so it was cancer. I wasn't sure. I just felt like she was sick for a while.
It's been a few years, but yeah.
Okay, and you weren't like super close, but you were close.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was this somebody like you worked with or you knew from work or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like you were a good friend. I feel like a better friendship for her than she was maybe for you, but she appreciated you a lot because I feel like you always said kind things to her and she thanks you for this. And I really feel like she just wanted you to know that because you have this way with people where you always make them feel better. You're very giving and very empathic and understanding, and you always know what people need. And she just wants to tell you that you meant a lot to her. Okay?
That's
She wants to thank you for that. I just feel like you needed to hear that because sometimes you feel like you're giving, and no one appreciates, but the spirit world appreciates you. All right.
Can I throw something in, Michelle? Do you feel like you're at a transformational time in your life right now? Because I feel like, look, this is all part of the Great Awakening is what I'm hearing. And I really get a sense of there's a lot of back and forth happening in your life. Like, should I continue down this road or quit this job or be here or be there? You know, there's a lot of reevaluation happening in your life or reexamining. And I want to tell you, every time you're reexamining something, know that that means you're on the right path because in some way it's like it allows for new ideas, new insights, new opportunities to come to you that you haven't thought of before. But I want to tell you that you have the solution. That's what I'm hearing. And that there's a spirit guide wanting to connect with you. And he feels like a male. So when you do meditate, would you ask for this guide to come through? It's almost like a new guide, I feel coming to you. Yeah. I don't know if you connect with guides and angels, but I do feel someone stepping in to kind of, help you, support you. I feel more artistic abilities with you, more creative, definitely more intuition opening up. And I want to tell you, I also feel for you, Michelle, you're going to get healthier. So have you had any health concerns or health challenges? And I don't need to know what they are, but you just, if that resonates with you, I'm happy because I'm hearing, you're getting through this, this is going to be resolved. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm going to put you back.
I got that last surge of energy there with Michelle.
I know. It's like, they just like throw them in, right? Yes. So I'm just reading the comments here. I did want to read this one comment. And it's just like that she doesn't want to come up, but I wanted to read this. She wrote this a few minutes ago. 10 minutes ago. It says, my brother is stage 4 lung cancer. He only has a few months with us, yet he wanted to have a band at the Army and Navy club that he worked at and have the family there. I am in awe of how strong he is with his acceptance that he is going to the other side sometime soon. I do not want to go live, but I would love some insight on how you see his strength coming through. I just felt what an amazing, beautiful soul. And I have to say he understands because he knows he's not leaving forever.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's still going to he's going to be close to you still, and he's going to see you, and he's going to be reunited with other people that have passed that he loves and will be connected with. And I just feel like he's such a beautiful soul, Elise. My only insight is just what a blessing that he is doing this for you guys, if you think about it. What about you, Cheryl?
Yeah, I feel, giving him the chance to say goodbye to his loved ones is really a blessing, right? If we could all have that, if we want that. But I do feel in some way that gives him strength, that his family is giving him the strength, and that he is brave for not only you, but something inside of him, his soul is definitely receiving a lot of downloads or information right now. I just get him becoming wiser and wiser every day. And I want to say at this point with him, it's about providing comfort and providing a rest, really, and easiness, because I get a sense of him becoming even more insightful or him more in tune. It's as if we become more aware of spirit world. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts showing you or telling you he sees his loved ones around or feeling them or sensing them, because he's very much allowing it and open to it. And that is truly, what a wise man he is. What a wise soul your brother is.
Yes, very, very much. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, though, and I know it's been hard for you, but know that, your support and your guys' love only makes your brother stronger. Yeah. So thank you, Cheryl. It is
Thanks.
8:11.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I know time just goes by,
It does.
and I wish we could give everybody a reading.
I'm
But
sorry,
the great thing is we'll be back next Wednesday.
Yes.
And just to let everyone know, Kelley and I both individually have monthly small group reading events. You can join one of those. My next one is August 1st. Kelley, when is your next small group?
Well, I'm traveling next month, and I have not put anything up for August, September, October yet. I'm working on my schedule this week, so it'll be announced here real soon.
Okay. And so really, but we do readings privately on Zoom or by phone. And once again, we do have monthly small group reading events. I know I have larger group reading events coming up with Thomas John on August 29th is my next one big group reading. So you can always go to my website, mediumcheryl.com, and look on my events page. And also Kelley has great things coming up also at mediumkelly.com. She is in the middle of organizing her Egypt trip. So for those of you, I think there are still a couple of seats left.
We have 6 spots left.
Okay.
Oh, only 5. Oh my gosh, I didn't
great.
know that. So we have an amazing trip happening, and I'm super, super excited. So I'm working with Jules Davis, who's an amazing healer and a psychic medium, just like me. And we will be doing full moon activation ceremony. We will be doing past life readings in the private time in the Sphinx and the King and Queen's chamber. I have the hardest time saying that word, Sphinx. I hope I'm saying it right. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing trip. 12 days, 11 nights in February next year during the full moon.
It's wonderful.
I'm excited.
And then both Kelley and I are going to the expo in New York, and that's October, guys. So we're going to be posting for that real soon. We hope to see everyone that can make the expo. It's the biggest one of the year in New York, and that'll be wonderful. We will be working under we'll have a booth, a Seeing Beyond Living Transformed booth. We'll be giving individual talks ourselves, and we'd love to see you there. We might be doing readings individually. We'll have to look at our schedules and see how time allows it, but we'll keep doing our Wednesday evening program, Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. Kelley, is there anything you want to add as we are saying goodnight here?
Well, let's just say next week we promise to do more readings again. After
Oh.
we'll do 30 minutes of the show and 30 minutes of readings. So if you didn't get a chance to get read this week, make sure you come back next week and you join and let us know that you were in line waiting last week, so we take you first. Okay.
Okay, that's a deal.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.